You're watching Theme Park Worldwide, where this afternoon I'm back here at the Alton Towers Resort to share with you all a bit of a news update and talk about the speculation that's currently ongoing about the future of Duel, the haunted house strikes back. Now, over the past couple of weeks, online there's been a lot of rumours suggesting that some changes may be coming to Duel for 2023. Now, of course, these are just rumours, and that's what this video is, kind of speculating and talking about what we've heard about some changes coming to Duel. However, normally, I kind of think, oh yeah, it's just people getting the hopes up, you know, some rumours and probably nothing's going to happen. However, I firmly believe that we are going to be seeing some changes made to this Alton Towers dark ride for next year. Now, you're probably watching this thinking, hang on a minute, Sean, what really makes you think there's going to be some changes made to Duel? Well, it's more the fact that the ride is looking very tired. In fact, so many of the effects in there are now broken. That does include the trommel tunnel that's been broken now for a good few years and they've just not fixed it. Along with that, now in 2022, even more effects just seem like they're completely switched off or broken, which really is a shame. But that normally is a sign that Alton Towers are planning changes. It happens with all of the rides here. When the changes come in, you just see the ride deteriorate and no money is spent on it at all. And that really seems to be the case with Duel. It's been like that for a good couple of years. However, in 2022, it's really noticeable. Lots of the effects broken, targets not working, and just simple things like the carpet, especially on the exit corridor, is in a complete state. So yeah, I really do think there's something to these rumours, and we're going to be seeing some pretty big changes to this ride for next year. Now, for those of you that don't know, I thought I'd share a bit of a brief history for you on Duel here at Alton Towers, because as I'm sure many of you watching this know, it's not always been known as Duel. Gloomywood and the original haunted house opened at Alton Towers back in 1992 as part of a huge expansion of the park, also with Katanga Canyon and the Runaway Mine Train that year as well. It was a huge year for Alton Towers, 1992, and yeah, the 90s were always the golden era of Alton Towers in my opinion. But yeah, the haunted house was not an interactive ride like it is now. There was no guns, there was no targets. It was a themed experience, a journey that you would be taken on through audio, animatronics and special effects. At the end of 2002, I'll always remember a banner was actually put up just outside here. And I remember this when I was a kid. It was on that very fence there. A banner went up saying that some changes were coming to the haunted house for 2003. It was the start of the 2003 season when Duel, the haunted house strikes back, opened here at Alton Towers, and it really was a completely reimagined version of the haunted house. However, it was more of a downgrade for many people. As much as it made it an interactive experience, bringing the guns onto the ride and having all the targets to shoot, that was really good fun, especially for families. It took away from that original feel of the ride. A lot of the scenes were changed, and the biggest mistake that they made with that, in my opinion, was the removal of the original audio. It used to be different in the scenes as you made your way through, and that really added to the haunted house experience. It's clear though that Alton Towers wanted to make it a little bit more family friendly, because obviously it was a real scary ghost train when it first opened in 1992. I always remember riding it as a kid and being terrified. But yeah, for a lot of people it lost its charm, its heart and soul when it did have that transition into Duel. A lot of changes have been made since to Duel over the years. Little prop changes. The audio was completely changed a few years ago. Actually, much better than that 2003 soundtrack in my opinion, but still not a patch on how it was originally. So yeah, there's a bit of history for you about the haunted house and how it changed into Duel, and yeah, became more of a thematic experience that was pretty scary into more of a family-friendly, interactive shooting dark ride. Now, it's not always big changes that have been made to Duel over the years. In fact, just last week, I took a photo and shared it on social media. Here it is right now for you, of two skeletons that appeared right in the entrance hall to Duel. However, as you can see now, they've actually been removed. They were sat right there on them two chairs, and now they've gone. So yeah, it's little changes, but that made me think, are Alton Towers teasing us? Is something happening for 2023? Looking at the state of parts of this ride, I'm led to believe so. Now, unfortunately, I can't take you on the ride past this point, but I will show you the exit corridor and how much of a state that looks. And obviously this was changed for last year, the access here. So it does make me think, I think the rumours are true. I think something really is happening to this for next year. And it excites me. I look forward to seeing it. We're just on a ride there on Duel, and yeah, look at the exit corridor here, the state of the carpet. It's like this all in the station as well. And imagine the queue line's pretty similar, it's just you can't really see it with how dark it is in there. But look at this. Like, over the past few years, they've been trying to keep this nice and clean, but for 2022, you can tell they've just left it to rot. Changes are coming, they really are. I mean, just look at this, you would not leave it in this state unless there was going to be some big money spent on this attraction. It's like even when you come round into the shop, Spooks Are Us. Look at this all down here. Just completely not being cared for at all. So it's like my ride just, there was loads of targets not working on there. Also, I've noticed quite a few speakers for the sound effects. They're not working on Duel this year either. Of course, the trommel, well, that's not been on for a few years, but quite a few of the other effects are starting to fail now, and you can see they're just not fixing them. Over the past couple of years, they've always tried to fix things the best they can do. Well, apart from the trommel, they've done quite a good job of that, but you can just tell there's a certain ambience around the ride as well. You just know changes are coming. Now, if work is being done to the ride, like I'm heavily expecting, it's not just the dark ride itself that I'd love to see the work done to. The area as well. Spooks Are Us, the shop, that used to be so much better back in the day. And a themed shop experience is something that Alton Towers have really started to do over the past few years, especially with the likes of Wicker Man, with all the theming in there and different merch. I really feel like with a Duel refresh or upgrade, whatever's happening to it, then yeah, something done to the shop would be great. And along with that, this food outlet right here in the middle, this was Nitrogenie a few years ago, and that never really fit with Gloomy Wood. It was basically a fancy and very expensive ice cream parlour. I'd love to see this selling themed food to fit with the spooky Gloomy Wood vibes. But yeah, I've had a ride on the Haunted House. I've shown you, you know, how it's looking in a bit of a state in the queue line. Wish I could film on the ride and show you that. But something I've not really spoken about is what I think they are going to do to it. So that's what I'm going to talk all about now. Now, much like many people, I used to absolutely adore the original Haunted House here at Alton Towers and was really sad when it changed over. So comment down below and share your best memories from the original Haunted House. Now, as much as I used to love that, and many people did, I don't want to see Duel kind of just go back to being the Haunted House again. Personally, what I'd love to see them do is completely upgrade it, remove the guns on there, new soundtrack, new lighting, new effects, but kind of add to what's already there. Not take too much away, just add to it. A few years ago, a lot of the lighting was changed and it really ruined some of the iconic scenes and some of the effects in there, such as with the bat spinning round. You can see all the mechanism and kind of wire that's spinning round on now. You never used to see that with the old lighting. So yeah, I'd love to see them kind of make those changes. Nothing massive, but yeah, add to it, maybe bring some new effects in, projection mapping. Technology's come a long way, even since 2003 when it opened as Duel. So that's what I would personally love to do to that ride. If it was my choice, big upgrade, remove the Duel name, not an interactive ride, and yeah, kind of a new version of the Haunted House, but not a complete copy, not a, you know, take it back to exactly what it used to be. Theme parks evolve and change, and so has technology. You got to think John Wardley and all the team at Sparks Creative and everyone that was worked on the original Haunted House. If they had to be able to use the technology what we've got now, then I'm sure we'd have seen some very different effects in there back in 1992. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. That's what I would love to see them do to it. Now on to what I think might happen. I mean, that would be an ideal situation, but I think there is still a chance, especially with how IP Merlin are really going with additions, that we could maybe see an IP takeover. Now, at Heide Park in Germany, they've got the Ghostbusters IP. And I remember many years ago, there'd been a rumour that Alton Towers wanted to change it into a Ghostbusters ride. Well, that was before Merlin actually had the IP. Now they do, and there is an interactive shooting dart ride that was ground up. It wasn't a retheme. At Heide Park in Germany, and we filmed it in the vlog from a couple of years ago. Now there is a chance maybe we could see an IP. I'm not necessarily saying Ghostbusters, but you know, possibly an IP could come in, looking at what Merlin have done in recent years. So yeah, there's a lot of kind of speculation and rumours going around at the moment. I wanted to film a video, talk about it, share my thoughts on it and what I would love to do, and what I'd like to think that a lot of the management here would like to do. There's a lot of passionate people about the Haunted House here at Alton Towers, so I think it would be nice to see them kind of, you know, just make them changes and turn it into something spectacular again, a world-class dart ride. Kind of keep what's there, there, but just add to it and make some changes. So maybe take a couple of little bits out that don't work. But what I'm saying is, I don't want to see it turn into a massive screen-based ride and all the effects have gone from it. You know, I want to see it stay physical set pieces in there, but remove that interactive element and turn it into a story, into a journey again. So let's see what happens. But there we go. Comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on these rumours, what could be happening. And yeah, I'm highly expecting the ride to maybe close later this year for some sort of refurbishment, upgrade, retheme, IP, whatever it is. Something's happening to Duel. I can tell. I used to work here for 8 years. I know how Alton Towers operates. They let something rot basically when it's going to change, and that is exactly what they're doing with Duel. So something's happening, and I'm expecting that to be for next year. But there we go. That leaves me with one final thing to say. Get out there and keep on riding. Oh, Nemi. See you in the next video.